Hello, are you ready to hear a story? Well, today I'm going to tell you a story that comes all the way from Ethiopia, and it's called The Lion's Whisker, and it goes like this. A long time ago, there was a family who lived together very happily, a husband, a wife, and their young son. But before the little boy had reached his 10th birthday, his mother sadly died of a disease. 2 years later, the boy's father remarried. His new wife was a kind woman with a heart full of love, not only for her husband, but also for his son. But the boy was still hurting from the loss of his mother and was angry with his father for remarrying. He didn't want a new stepmother. No one could take the place of his real mother. And so, try as she might, his stepmother could not persuade him to let her into his life. Not only would he not talk to her, he wouldn't even look at her unless he had to. Desperate to be friends with the boy, she went to a wise old woman who lived nearby for some advice. "There's a special drink I can make for you to give to the boy," said the old woman. "But to make it, you must first bring me a whisker from a living lion." Well, of course, the stepmother was very frightened, but she was also very determined, and so she agreed to get the whisker. That same afternoon, she took some meat to a lake where lion paw prints had been seen. She left the meat near the water and hid herself behind a tree. When the lion eventually arrived, she could tell by the way he sniffed the air that he knew she was there. But he ate the meat and did not bother her. The next day she did the same thing, and the next, and the next. On the 5th day, however, she did not hide herself behind a tree, but waited on the path where he could see her. She was so frightened when he looked at her that she felt a shiver run through her whole body, but she didn't run away, and the lion did not trouble her, but instead went to eat the meat and drink from the lake. Every day for 3 whole months she continued, taking one step closer to the lion every day. At last she was close enough to touch him, which she did, and he did not hurt her. She knew now that the time had come. The next day she took with her a small knife, and when the lion was close enough, she cut off a little piece of one of his whiskers. The lion growled a little, but still he did not hurt her, and as soon as he had left, she rushed back to the wise old woman with the whisker. The old woman looked at her and smiled. "You now have everything you need to win your stepson's love," she said. "You'll make the drink for me?" the stepmother asked excitedly. But the wise old woman touched her arm and shook her head. "You don't need any magic drink to get your wish. Just as you won the lion's trust with patience and courage, taking one step at a time and never running away, so you can be friends with the boy." When the stepmother returned home, she thought about the boy as she had done with the lion, and found that she could approach him very carefully, with the same patience and respect, and within 3 months the boy had learned to love her just as she loved him. Hope you enjoyed the story. We'll be sharing another one next week.